and then you have the family life that you have to keep together. How challenging is that for an entertainer?
It is definitely challenging. You have to have understanding, and there has to be communication. Because I find sometimes, being married and also entertaining, I find, I could run into, the potential of running into trouble if I don't disclose information uh, to my wife. So I think, one of the thing about being an entertainer who is married, you have to disclose, you have to communicate. Um, Albeit, a small issue or a small thing, it has to be discussed
Communicated.
and communicated
Well,
by, yeah,
well, that's
by
good.
your
It's like a
spouse.
team effort that we support each other in the journey.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, my wife, sometimes, um, she may disagree with certain things, and if I listen, I find out that she's right. So sometimes not.
The wife's always right, right?
I learned
I
that the
know the
hard.
ladies
Yes,
out there, we believe that, right? We're always right.
absolutely. Yeah, but it's a great thing though. As long as there's understanding, among the parties, it's fantastic.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about your life in Guyana and growing up in Port Morant. Let the audience know a little bit more about you and what your childhood was like.
Childhood, very, very humble beginning. I came from a very poor family, uh, single parent. My mom had, by the time she migrated to the United States, she had 6 children.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it was very tough. It was very, very tough during those days. Um, you know,
Are you the eldest of all
I
the
am the
children?
eldest.
And how was it being that your dad was no longer around? You had to take over the role.
Absolutely, 100%. I had to take over the role of the father, so to speak. I had to, because it's hard. My mom is always thinking about, putting a meal on the table, right? So I had to help out with my siblings, with the getting them in line, doing their homework, keeping them. I mean, I'm still a child too, right? But it kind of make you mature quickly. And what I found is, in during those times in society, if when you're from a poor background, the community tends to take advantage of you because you're
Really? They
poor.
take advantage
Yeah,
of?
they take advantage of you. But what I did is that did not happen with me, because what I did is I associate myself with really good people in the community.
Well, I'm sorry, cut you a little,
Yeah.
but when you say that the people take advantage of the poor, how do they take advantage of the poor?
I don't know if that happens anymore,
No,
but
but I mean, I'm
in
just
during those days, like
wondering how they did that.
yeah, they would tease you. You
Okay.
have, you're
Oh, because
poor.
you didn't have shoes or
You
you
didn't
didn't
have the
have the right
shoes
shirt.
precisely. Like,
Okay.
I was in high school,
Okay.
and during the Mashramani celebration, there was a march. All the students were involved in a march, but I didn't have a shoe. My mom couldn't afford a shoe, so I had a flip flop. So I was involved in that march also, but I was called out by one of the teacher because I had a flip flop, so I couldn't be part of that. So some kids, young, don't understand it and tend to tease you about that. And especially, a teacher would pull you out, just like that, and reprimand you in front of all the kids. So yeah, but I had to learn to deal with those kinds of things.
Wow. So you learned from that experience, and do you think it helped build you to the person you are today?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Everything
those.
that happens, I think everything that happens, I don't take the negative out of things, because I think everything that happens for a purpose. And you have to look and see the lesson, in that, what's happening, what lesson can you walk out of. I also, I stress education, to my siblings. Of course, growing up, and being, you know, in a single parent environment, it's tough, because my second brother was just a year younger than me. So there's always that, clash also, right, of ideas and
Oh
stuff like
yeah.
that. He doesn't want to be bossed. But, I try to be,
And how
an
was your
inspiration.
mother relationship with your mother? That was good relationship?
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's a great relationship, yeah.
What do you think if you were to give a message out here to the youth out here today? They may be going through trials and tribulations. What would be a a pearl that you could give them to keep going, to follow their dreams, what do you think would be your
I would
advice?
say never give up hope. Never give up hope. There will always be trials, okay? And for every trial, there's always a solution. So you just have to take a few steps back and figure it out. See what direction you want to go with this. Because in life, life is all about that. There will always be obstacles. There will always be trials. There will always be tribulations. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your desire to want to make a good life, right? And you work towards it.
Yeah. Well, what also would be, what is another reason why you got into promotions? I recall talking to you in a conversation before the interview, and you said, I noticed that we're lacking keeping the culture together.